What is going on, ADA Nation? Welcome to the Dapp Central YouTube channel. I'm your host here, Fareed, and as a part of today's video, I want to break down some of the latest developments within the Cardano ecosystem. First things first, we're going to break down the weekly Cardano development report. Following that, I want to touch on the growing TVL on the network, as well as the recent GitHub development activity. After that, we're going to jump into some updates here surrounding DC Spark and the Milkomeda sidechain, as well as Exodus wallet, which will now be supporting Cardano. In closing of today's video, I want to break down the recent release of the MinSwap monthly stats, and then I've got some breaking news that you're not going to want to miss from the NMKR team. Now, as always, if you guys want to support me on this channel, my goal is to provide you guys in the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews. I'm also a single stake pool operator operating the official Dapp Central stake pool. Between the months of April all the way through May, I will be giving away the MELD and GENS tokens to delegators within the stake pool. I do also want to just take a minute here to share with you guys that I've actually got my document here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in the community that I've been delegating to the stake pool. I will be releasing an additional video here within the next 24 hours or so, highlighting how you guys can actually go ahead and actually begin the claim process for the month of March. Again, thank you guys for your patience throughout this process. It really does mean a lot. That said, let's go ahead and just jump straight into our very first update here, which is going to be surrounding the Cardano development report. Now, I'm going to kind of speed through this here since I do cover this every Friday, and we now have 119 projects with 1,200 builders, 8.06 million native tokens, 71,000 token policies, with 7,546 Plutus scripts or smart contracts. We're now creeping up on about 64 million total transactions, and the number of Plutus V2 scripts has increased by about 40 since my last update, and prior to this update, it had increased by about 2,200. That was one of the major highlights that I mentioned as a part of my latest video. Now, moving over to the left-hand side here, we have recently seen a Hydra head demo on the Cardano mainnet, and there appears to be continuing discussion surrounding SIP 1694, which will just be surrounding Cardano governance. Moving into the next topic here, I want to chat a little bit about Cardano TVL, or Total Value Locked. If you guys are not aware, Cardano recently made a brand new high when it comes to its ADA valuation, crossing over, I want to say, 330 million ADA. That said, in terms of TVL within the last 7 days, we have MinSwap growing over 6%, Indigo with the biggest gain here of more than 20%. Congratulations to this team. Followed by Wing Riders at number 3 with 3% growth. And then we've got Judd at number 4 with 6.3%. Following that, we've got Muesli Swap, Liquid, which is going to be a DeFi protocol, Sunday Swap, which is going to be a DEX, Optum Finance, AADA, as well as Lending Pond and Fluid tokens. Now, one thing that I am slightly surprised here by is AADA losing 17% of its TVL over the course of this last week. If you guys are not aware, I recently released a brand new video highlighting the fact that AADA Finance will be moving from a peer-to-peer to a peer-to-pool protocol. And so you're no longer going to have to wait for a third party to accept or deny your loan. You're actually going to be able to loan or borrow against a liquidity pool, which will be made available around the clock. So it's going to be a major update. And since then, we've actually seen the price of the AADA token actually skyrocket. So given those two bits of positive news, I'm extremely surprised to see that the TVL has actually fallen. Now, the last item I want to talk about is going to be Fluid tokens. They're coming in very lastly. They just kicked off their ISPO, in which we've now seen their stake pool grow over 7 million ADA. So again, a lot of really cool things going on within the ecosystem. I just wanted to touch on that TVL there very quickly. Now, if I get myself out of the way, you're going to see that since 2023, we have more than 3x'd the Cardano TVL in terms of US dollars. And so it was at about $40 million at the beginning of this year, and we're now at about 127 million. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that if I jump over into DeFi Llama, it's actually showing that the current TVL amount is sitting at 144 million. Now, I do understand that some people may or may not count staking when they're doing these calculations. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind. But if we're to take a median between what we have there reported by Cardano daily, which is 127 million, and what we have here on DeFi Llama, which is around 144 million, that would bring us somewhere right in the middle of about 130 to 135 million in terms of TVL. Nonetheless, it's a huge update here, or a huge amount growth over the course of the last 3 months. I do think that a lot of this has been driven by DeFi, specifically platforms like Jed, which are now, I think, let me see, has more than 13.89 million locked in terms of TVL, as well as Liquid, which almost has 9 million locked in ADA, or excuse me, in US dollars now. So the launch of both of those protocols there did contribute greatly. And then we've also seen MinSwap just continue to innovate and continue to grow its decentralized exchange. That's going to do it there, though, for the updates when it comes to TVL. Next, we're going to jump into the GitHub daily development report. And so I did reach out here to the Cardano Daily team, confirming, or trying to confirm exactly what it is that they're counting. But at number 1, we've got the Polkadot network, or the Polkadot chain. Number 2, we've got Hedera. And then at number 3, we've got Cardano. Now, Cardano has been able to make the top 3 here every time that I've actually covered this particular update or this particular chart. So really, really positive news here again. But following Cardano, we've got Internet Computer Protocol, Chainlink, Decentraland, Status, Cosmos, Aptos, and Flow. Now, one thing that stuck out to me here is the fact that Ethereum is actually not on here. Ethereum did make it on the first 2, I believe, instances that I reviewed this chart, but since then they have failed to make it back on. So a real testament here to all the builders within this space, and shout out to the Cardano teams that are continuing to build and push us forward. Next, I want to just briefly highlight a newsletter here by a Cardano contributing member. So this is going to be the Cardano feed. If you guys are not already following the Cardano feed, make sure to go ahead and do so. As you guys can see, they're a relatively large account. Now, that said, what they have recently released is going to be what they call their Cardano Daily Digest. This is going to be a newsletter sending Cardano information straight to your inbox. So if you guys are interested in finding out more about Cardano and what's going on within the ecosystem, and you're not necessarily maybe watching a lot of videos, or you just want another kind of news outlet, then definitely recommend checking this platform out and just kind of giving them a subscription. That said, that is going to wrap it up there for our first set of updates surrounding general Cardano development updates, or general development news. Next, I want to touch on DC Spark and the fact that Cardano may be becoming one of the biggest EVM compatible blockchains very, very soon. So if you guys aren't familiar with Sebastian Guillemot, he's going to be one of the developers as well as one of the leads for the DC Spark platform. That said, Milkomeda is going to be an EVM compatible sidechain that launched as a part of early of 2022. And so on this sidechain, we have developers releasing Solidity or Ethereum based code that can interact with the Cardano network, again, as a sidechain. And so previously, what you had to have was a Ethereum based wallet in order to interact with some of the dApps. However, as we can see here by this announcement from Sebastian, that is not going to be a thing moving forward. So it states here Cardano will be a top EVM chain next month. Milkomeda, Cardano's EVM layer, is launching a feature allowing every Cardano user to use EVM contracts directly from any Cardano wallet. Now, this is all going to be in pure ADA, and this will instantly make Cardano one of the largest EVM chains by user count. Again, this is really huge news here, because you're no longer going to need to have a MetaMask, a Trust wallet, or a Coinbase wallet in order to interact with these EVM compatible dApps, again, running on Solidity. And so this is kind of a merge between both ecosystems, Ethereum and Cardano. But again, keep in mind that this is all being done on the EVM sidechain. So it's not actually being done on the Cardano network. It's all being done on Milkomeda, but you can now use your Cardano native wallet in order to interact with these EVM based dApps. I hope that makes sense. Now, just kind of reading on here, it states, not only this, right, which is what we just talked about, but it will be the largest EVM chain with staking rewards fully optional. Now, what I'm wondering here is if this is going to be Cardano staking rewards that he's referring to, or Ethereum. Now, For Ethereum, they're going to be getting their Shanghai upgrade here very soon, which will actually allow users that are staking their Ethereum to begin withdrawing that. Right now, if you're staking on Ethereum, all of your assets are locked up until this next upgrade comes along. As you guys know, that is definitely not the case when it comes to Cardano. You can stake and unstake anywhere and freely as you wish on this network. So if they're going to be bringing traditional Cardano ADA staking rewards to the Milkomeda sidechain, again, that's going to be a huge step up here moving forward. So I'm going to try to do a little bit more research and try to get a better understanding of exactly what Sebastian means here with the staking rewards being fully operational. Now it continues to read on. Milkomeda is soon establishing staking rewards for all EVM users, including smart contract developers. Build in Cardano's EVM layer and get paid automatically every 5 days. So I think that actually answers my question there. If we're talking about getting paid every 5 days, that sounds like it's going to be Cardano traditional staking rewards. So a huge update here. Not only will you be able to use your Cardano native wallets directly on Milkomeda, but you'll also now be able to, I think, receive traditional ADA rewards while using an EVM compatible sidechain. That is going to do it there for that particular update. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have tried Milkomeda, let me know what you guys think. Have you guys had a positive experience? Have you guys had maybe a tough one? I know that when this was initially released, I was still new to the space, and so I didn't really have enough understanding of what was going on to really wrap my head around it. But given this update here, which is going to make life a lot easier, given that we don't have to, have a MetaMask wallet or anything like that, I'm going to give it a second shot here, and I'm going to follow up here again, giving you guys my 2 cents in my personal opinion as to how this is going to affect the chain moving forward. Now on DC Spark here, they're on a roll. They have now released a feature to simplify wallet creation. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that the Flint wallet is actually going to be developed again by the same exact team. So DC Spark basically states here, creating a Cardano wallet is a lot of work, but what if it didn't have to be? Years went into all open source tools used by Flint wallet. So that confirms that there again, that the Flint wallet is developed by DC Spark. And with help from Transaction Pipe or TX Pipe tools, we're now giving it all to you in one easy to use box, introducing Wallet One Box. This is huge again, you guys. We have had so many bits of open source tooling come across over the course of last week. It's really been impressive. So I just kind of want to pivot here and talk about Atlas. If you guys are not familiar with Genius Yield, they're going to be a order book style DEX building on Cardano, and they're actually going to be developing the Genius X platform as well, which is going to be an accelerator program. That said, they just released Atlas, which is going to be their Plutus application backend. Now, Atlas is going to be simplifying the process of building off-chain code to support on-chain smart contracts. And so that was a huge announcement, which I did release a fully dedicated video for. But again, that was a huge update from the Genius team, basically releasing open source software. So developers coming on the chain basically have a library of tools now that they can basically leverage without having to rebuild their entire arsenal on their own. So to see that we now have DC Spark also doing the same thing here when it comes to wallet creation is really bullish news. Again, simplifying the process for developers coming onto the network. If you guys are not familiar, Plutus is going to be one of the more robust languages, right, when it comes to development, given that it's very mathematically heavy. And so it provides a lot of security and a lot of stability. But the one drawback that it has is that it's very, very hard to learn. So as we begin to get more open source tooling in the ecosystem, things like this will make it easier for new members or new developers to come into our ecosystem. Now, reading down a little bit below more about what Wallet One Box is, it says this is also going to be known as WOB or WOB for short, which is going to be a single command line tool that allows you to easily download, start, and manage all the backend tools required to run a Cardano wallet backend. Simply run the Wallet One Box init, pick up the services that you need, and get started right away. Once you've picked the services that you want to run, you can query any of them very quickly with their REST API. You can now find the full code for Cardano Wallet One Box or WOB on GitHub here. So let me just quickly pop this open here and let's take a look at some of the documentation associated with it. So as you guys can see here, It looks like it's a brand new piece of software here, written mostly in TypeScript with a little bit of Rust. And as we can see, we've got some pretty decent documentation here. So again, if you guys are developers within the community and you're looking to leverage something like this, then definitely make sure to check this out. Now, on the topic of wallets, I want to move things a little bit further and touch on Exodus Wallet. So this is going to be a brand new wallet solution that has just been announced within the Cardano ecosystem. Now, Exodus Wallet actually has support for additional wallets outside of Cardano, but their latest announcement is basically stating that they're now going to be adopting Cardano and some of the Cardano DeFi dApps. So it states here, we are proud to announce that Cardano is live in the Exodus Web3 wallet. You can now connect to NFT and DeFi dApps, manage ADA native tokens and CNFTs, and then you can also now perform cross-chain swaps and get easy access to their 24/7 team. If I just blow this up here very quickly, let me run this back. We can kind of get a feel for exactly what this is going to look like. So we've got MinSwap, JPEG, Muesli Swap. We've got some NFTs there. Alley Cats, and then we've also even got in-house staking. Now, I do want to touch on the staking in just a minute, but you can also perform cross-chain swaps and even buy ADA. That looks very, very impressive. I'll be honest there with you. I really like the fact that it looks extremely clean. And yeah, we've got a lot of wallets already, but the more the merrier, and especially one that is going to be cross-chain. If I jump over into their official website, which is going to be exodus.com, you can see that you can now buy Bitcoin and you can now have their crypto wallet here directly from their website. You can watch that video that we just watched there, and they kind of highlight some of their key features, right? Now, if I scroll down all the way here, I want to highlight here that they support more than 260 different assets. As you guys can see, they support Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Litecoin, Dogecoin, just so many different blockchains here. And this will now include, there we are, Cardano. So extremely excited to see that Cardano is now listed on their website. And if you guys want to find out more about this here, then make sure to check out the link that I'm going to leave down in the description below. Now, the very last thing I want to say is that if you do end up picking up this wallet and you do want to stake, that they will be staking using the EverStake pool. So if you stake directly with an Exodus wallet, all of the staked tokens, that are made as a part of that wallet will be directly delegated to the EverStake stake pool. All right, let's go ahead and just move things on here. I want to touch on MinSwap and their recent release of their monthly report. Now, this is going to be the third one that we're going to be touching on here and reviewing. And what I want to do is just do a brief comparison of what they've reported this month as a part of March versus the months of February. Now, that said, when it comes to the TVL as a part of February, that was at 105 million ADA. That currently sits now at 137 million ADA. So an increase of about 30%. In terms of their trading volume, in the month of February, that's set at 161 million ADA, which is now at 175 million ADA, which is now going to be an 8% increase. And so we're starting pretty hot there. However, if we move over into the monthly unique active wallets, that has actually dropped quite significantly. So in February, that was at about 19,000 wallets, and it is now down to 7,44,000 wallets. And so we're down about 60%. In terms of the top traded tokens in February, we had the Singularity Net token, the New Net token, the MinSwap token, and World Mobile. Now we still have Singularity Net, we still have Min, we still have New Net. However, World Mobile has been knocked out and replaced by JED. And I think that's really just kind of be it there. So I'm not going to dive too much deeper into all of this. I do want to highlight one last section though. In terms of the fee switch, they recently switched over how they would be accumulating their fees. And as a part of February, they had collected 143,000 ADA in terms of total fees. And that has now jumped up to 258,000. So about 100 additional thousand ADA collected in terms of fees used on the DEX. That is going to bring us to a close when it comes to updates on MinSwap. I want to end off on a light note here, highlighting a update from NMKR. So it's with a heavy heart that I have to report to you guys that the NMKR team is going to be moving to Shiba Inu. If you guys are not familiar with Shiba Inu, they're going to be a meme network, which is kind of birthed as a part of Dogecoin in that same kind of meme era. And so they're going to be migrating and leaving Cardano. I know it's a really, really tough one to hear. Obviously, I am totally kidding. This was their April Fool's joke. I just wanted to end off on a really, really light note there. So if you guys are not familiar with NMKR, they just released their staking platform. So if you guys have NMKR tokens, or if you hold their Seaplanes NFTs, you can go ahead and stake them on the Genius Yield platform. But they're going to be a platform helping creators to build their own NFT collections and manage all their assets within their NMKR suite. That is going to do it for today's video. Again, really ending off on a light note there, in which we talked about the Cardano Development Weekly Report. We also touched on the TVL and GitHub development activity. Following that, we touched on DC Spark updates coming to Milkomeda as well as Wallet One Box. And then we wrapped up by talking about Exodus Wallet and their support for Cardano, as well as MinSwap and their latest monthly stats report. If you guys found this update to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content just like this, consider subscribing. And if you guys have any questions for me about any of the topics that we talked about today or about Cardano in general, then make sure to leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.